Alright guys, welcome back to another weekly manga review video for Naruto, Bleach, and One Piece. And we had some good chapters this week. One Piece I liked with the Zoro versus Monet fight. Not really a lot happened in Bleach though. It was kind of just a lot of the same thing. And Naruto, surprisingly, the flashback continues. But after this week it's done, they're back to the fight with Naruto and Madara. And Naruto's actually on break next week, so there won't be a chapter, but starting with Naruto chapter 607, I don't care. The flashback continues with Obito talking to a young Nagato. He tells them he's Madara, and they don't believe him. They don't want to have anything to do with him. And he tells them that he's going to keep coming back every day at the same time until they come to see things his way. And eventually they'll realize that his plan is the only way to actually achieve peace. And then it shows his attack on the Leaf Village, summoning the Nine Tails and fighting Minato. And it just reminded me of the chapter where we saw Obito fight Minato and just how he was able to fight evenly with his teacher. And it's just so surprising how Obito got all this power so fast. I mean, I know he trained with Madara and he learned all those jutsus, but still, I mean, that's a lot of power to get so quickly. But Obito really did get the luck of the draw with that Sharingan. I mean, being able to have objects pass through you like that pretty much makes him invincible. It's the best power you could get, really. But it cuts back to where we left off, and we see Naruto attack Madara, and he uses the Nine Tails chakra to, I guess, create this illusion of a giant fox. And Madara summons this wooden dragon to wrap up the Nine Tails fox. And this was a really cool panel. I liked this. What I was disappointed with was Might Guy and Killer Bee are beat up. So it looked like there was some fighting that happened off panel. And it's not really a big deal, but I hate when Kishimoto does this. And one time it really bothered me was when we missed most of the entire fight with the Seven Swordsmen of the Mist. I mean, that was really disappointing. And it does kind of suck because Might Guy is one of my favorite characters. And I feel like in this entire war, Might Guy and Rock Lee have really gotten shit. I mean, I don't understand why. Are these characters not popular in Japan or something? I don't understand it. But it's like they never get any panel time to do anything. It's really cheap. I mean, at least Might Guy got some of the nunchuck fighting here, but I don't know. They should do a lot more with these characters. I expected a lot more. They have the 8 gates and all that, and it feels like if you don't watch the anime, you don't get to see these characters do anything. Same goes for a lot of the other characters in Naruto, a lot of the other rookie groups. But anyways, while they're fighting, Kakashi and Obito come face to face. They have their stare down, and Obito says he's got nothing left to talk about, and it's time for them to have their last fight. And that's how the chapter ended. So once it comes back, there's a few ways this could go. And I do think Obito is going to find out what really happened with Ren, and that Kakashi did not kill Ren. There was some type of shenanigans going on there. And maybe Obito still wants to help Madara, because if you think about it, he really just wants to see Ren again, and going through with the Moon's Eye plan would make that happen. So there's really no reason to turn back now. But I could also see him finding out the truth and regretting spending his entire life trying to get revenge or working with Madara. And I think he could find that out after Kakashi kills him. When he's about to die, he'll find out the truth, or he'll find out the truth and join Kakashi and help them try and fight Madara. I really hope that doesn't happen, because they have enough good guys already. And I don't need to see any more bad guys turn into good guys like Itachi. It doesn't need to happen anymore. So I really hope Kishimoto doesn't go with that. But anyways, that's how Naruto ended this week. It was a pretty good chapter, I thought. And when it comes back, it's probably going to be awesome with the Obito versus Kakashi fight, or Kishimoto may jump around and show some of the other stuff happening in the war. So on to Bleach chapter 513, The Dark Moon Stroke. I didn't really care much for this chapter because it felt like nothing happened. Byakuya is still dying. Still. He is still not completely dead. And even after this chapter, I don't think he's dead. It's getting ridiculous now. But Ichigo attacks Juha Bach with a Getsuga, and he just catches it, just shows how powerful he is, tosses it aside. He knocks Ichigo down and stabs him in the neck, and he sees that Ichigo's still breathing, and he wants to take him back to the base, resurrect him, and turn him into one of his troops. So as he's going to leave, Ichigo gets up, and he turns and he looks, and he realizes that Ichigo has used one of the Quincy techniques, Blut Vanille, I believe is how you would say that. So Ichigo loses all this, sets off all this energy, and that's how the chapter ended. And it was just kind of, I don't know, a little disappointing. I am going to keep an open mind about this whole Ichigo using the Quincy power. I mean, Kubo could explain this in some way. Maybe Ishida's involved somehow. I don't really know. But yeah, it is kind of another, like, Ichigo needs another power, is what I'm trying to say here. I mean, he's already so overpowered that this is just completely unnecessary. He's got every power you could have, and now he's got this? I just don't like that, but I'm going to try and keep an open mind and see how Kubo explains all of this. But yeah, that was the end of the chapter, really. A lot of talking and, yeah, just nothing happening. So, after last week's chapter and this chapter, I really hope it picks up again next week. So, on to One Piece chapter 686, Snow Woman of the Biscuits Room. The cover story, we see Karabo being burned at the stake and his brother cutting the stake down and saving him. We get a flashback from Mocha, who's still running from all the giant children with candy, or who want the candy. And we see that Caesar once again lied, and he lied to the kids and said that he lost his own child to this disease they have, and that he's got to cure them or they could potentially infect their parents. And they're just, Oda is really building him up to be just the sickest villain and just really pure evil. But the thing about this flashback was Monet was normal. She was a normal woman in the flashback. She wasn't a harpy. So that was interesting. But then it cuts to the fight with Monet fighting Zoro, and then she leaves to go attack Nami, Robin, and Chopper. And this pisses Zoro off. She keeps dodging Zoro so that she can attack the weaker members of the crew. So he's getting pissed off. Nami actually uses a heat ball on Monet, which actually has an effect, I guess, because she's a snow woman. So they're fighting. Monet jumps into the snow, and she's a Logia user. She can turn into snow. She seals up the room with a wall of snow, and then she turns into this giant snow woman thing and grabs Nami. And she's got these giant teeth, and Robin actually has a pretty cool attack to destroy the body of the snow woman. So I liked all of that. Zoro destroys the wall of snow, blocking the door, and the others continue off trying to chase the kids. So Zoro goes back to fighting Monet, and then Sanji and the Marines show up. And this was really funny. Sanji's running. He's just going to ignore Zoro, and then he sees Monet, so he stops and says, okay, maybe we'll stay here for a little longer. So they're going back and forth. The G5 Marines and Sanji are all talking about how beautiful Monet is, and she's blushing, and Zoro's just like, what the hell is going on here? It was great. But eventually they start fighting. Monet starts killing some of the Marines, or not killing them, just, I guess, wrapping them in snow. She bites one guy's shoulder off, and that was a cool panel. But Tashigi cuts her wing using Haki, and this surprises Monet. She's now fighting two swordsmen, and Tashigi tells the rest of them, go ahead, go save the children. I'm going to stay here. I'm needed here. So obviously this is an insult to Zoro, and I'm sure we're going to see more of this next week, but I really like this chapter. I thought it was a pretty cool fight with Monet and Zoro, and she had some cool techniques with the Snow Woman thing, and at one point she actually turned her wing into blades and actually hit Zoro's sword with that, so that was cool. But yeah, Zoro and Tashigi versus Monet next week, I guess, is where Oda's going with this one, but I did enjoy the fight this week, and the comedy with Sanji and Zoro is always great. So yeah, that was One Piece this week. I guess I have to give best chapter of the week to One Piece because we got a cool fight, not a lot of action in Naruto, and nothing really in Bleach. So yeah, that's my review of this week's Weekly Shonen Jump manga chapters. Hope you guys liked this video. Leave your thoughts on this week's chapters in the comments below, and thanks for watching.